Page 32, Pale Moon Serenade. This is a fun piece. The melody's in the left hand. This is cool. Let's look it over. 2 pages long, treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature. We're in the key of C major. Make sure you can do the C major scale. You've heard this before, blah, blah, blah. Okay. 3/4 time signature. We got 8th notes all over the place, but that's okay. It helps us keep the time. Right hand first. Let's check the notes and rhythms. We're moving around a little bit. Right hand, you start with C and E flat here. So you're in this position. And it's 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. You get this rhythm around. So measure 5, it's a C and an F. 1 and 2, okay. Measure 9, you just bring the thumb down. Don't move the hand, just the thumb down for here. Okay. Measure 16, while the left hand is playing, you got to come up here in the right hand. You can do the same thing again, more or less, an octave higher. 1. And on these things, I'm keeping the arm still and I'm flexing at the wrist. Don't use the whole arm on this. Stay relaxed. Stay relaxed. Here. I have to exaggerate it so you can see it because it's actually a little motion. But the point is, I'm flexing at the wrist. I'm not moving the arm here. Really super loud or something, then you have to use the arm. You got to use the bigger muscles. This is soft. And I'll come back to soft later. Then measure 21, it's C and an F. And measure 25, the thumb comes down for the B. And then the last line, I'll come back to that when we get the hands together. Left hand, starting out with 4th finger on G. So you're starting out here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the accidentals. A flat, B flat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And on measure 9, is it? They want the thumb under. Just come under. If you're doing the C major scale, you can do this. Don't twist around and all kinds of nonsense. If you relax, the thumb will do its thing. Now we've changed hand positions. Let's go to measure 16. You're crossing over for 1 note. That's all. You're staying here. Here. And then on measure 19, we're coming back up. See, again, we take advantage of the repeated note to change hand positions. I mean, you could have come up on measure 18. I could come up immediately if I wanted to. It doesn't matter when, but I need 4th finger there for measure 19. Okay, now let's put the hands together. Here, we're sort of here, but not for long. It's okay. So just get the left hand out of the way. You just need this note. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Measure 9, they want the thumb under, so finally the left hand got out of the way so the right hand can do its thing. And measure 16, while you're doing this in the left hand, you got to get the right hand up here. Now let's talk about the last line, measure 29. What this is, if you take a look at the individual notes, you're going to find it's just a C minor chord, a broken C minor chord in 2 positions. That's all it is. It looks ugly, a bunch of 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So the left hand is playing the first 3 notes. Right hand's playing the next one. And the 2 middle notes there, they beamed them together because they're 8th notes. They can. Even though they're in different staves, they can still beam them together. It doesn't matter. They're just 8th notes. And then the left hand, you got to get it up here. And you're having it here ready to go so that after you play that, you can do that immediately. So as I'm playing this, I got it left hand up. The right hand comes up. And then as you're doing that, left hand goes into the high C. 2 ledger lines above treble clef. See the treble clef they gave you? Isn't that nice? 2 ledger lines here. And then you have in the right hand, the notes are here. but it has a 15 MA, and they put in there what it means. You don't need what it means. You're supposed to know what it means. It means 2 octaves higher, because an 8 VA plus an 8 VA is 15 MA. It's music. It's just, so you're here, and you go 2 octaves higher from here. So that's 1, that's 2. You're up here, so it's here. If you have a short keyboard, you don't have the notes, you just play the highest C and E flats you have. By the way, if you have a short keyboard and you can play these notes, but you can't play these, then go ahead and play an E flat and a G, because we want that held down. So just play these notes. That's okay. Yeah, we adjust it for the short keyboard, but otherwise play the notes written where they're written. So you go through and put the notes together, and then go back through it 100 times or so and get rid of the hesitations. So it's a steady beat all the way through. And we'll think about the articulation, which they don't give you much. You pretty much connecting it. This melody. You're connecting it all the way through pretty much. The right hand, you just do the best you can with connecting those. So it's all pretty much connected. Then dynamics, it applies to the melody. MF, mezzo forte, and melodies in whatever you think sort of loud is. These notes should be soft. That's pretty much the dynamics. You do get a retardando at the end, and you go down to soft, you're up here. Actually, that's a little misleading. You're moderately loud here, right? Because you've been moderately loud through the whole thing, as near as I can tell. So this is going to be sort of moderately soft. Just get soft. Yeah. We want to hear that all the time you're doing that. Don't drown out. And you're slowing down, so you got to get soft. Don't use the soft pedal, that's cheating. You do it with the hands. Then with speed. Okay, here's where the motion is built in because of the 8th notes. With motion, but we don't want the 8th notes to go too quick. That's too much motion. And the dotted half notes, if you play them too slow, they just last forever. So they want to speed it up, but the 8th notes want to slow it down, and you have to meet somewhere in the middle. That's all. So this melody needs to sound okay, but the 8th notes can't go too fast. So what's good there? Somewhere in there. It's not an exact speed. It's a range. You have to feel this. It has to be accurate. Don't go faster than accurate. So you decide on how far. Your teacher will decide, and that's fine too. That's okay. Now they've added pedal. It'd be nice because this is pretty choppy. We can't connect these without pedal. Well, there is a way. I don't want to get into it, but we want to connect them. And it'd be nice to have the overtones, because this just sits there after you play it. If we add the overtones, it gives a little more color, a little, changes the tone just a little, and that's what we're after. You can pedal it pretty much like they're showing you. Don't pedal these other measures. We don't want to blur it up. We just sort of a serenade, kind of like a love song type. It's too early in the morning for that for me, but we'll see what we can do with it. So we're going to use overlapping pedal or lag pedal. That is, the notes do their thing first and then the pedal. So at the beginning, I'm going to play the note first and then the pedal. And as I play the note in the 3rd measure, I lift the pedal up. Again. That's pretty much the pedal. You have to be very careful because of the pedal. This gets a bit overpowering. So you have to listen very careful, always listening and making adjustments. So you don't want to drop this has to be in the background. So you may have to play this very soft because it builds up over time as you continue. the overtones get more and more, you may have to play it very soft. They do have one change pedal here. Change pedal, remember, is when you lift the pedal up and put it right back down. You're changing it. And that's between measures 14 and 15. And that's because the melody, if this is all in the same chord, we can sort of do that, although I don't like that either. But here, when you get to that, you don't want to smear all that together. So we change the pedal. It's after you play the note. However, I would also like to have a change pedal between measures 13 and 14. I want to keep the melody clean. Here, I want to keep it clean. So the measure 14, I change the pedal after I play the note, and then again. So the pedal overlaps just a little bit. So measures 13. Now on measure 16, I don't know why they didn't give the slur over all the eighth notes. So far as I'm concerned, you slur all those together. So in my mind, that should all be slurred. If I played this 10 times, I'd play it different every single time because I play by feel, and I'm always experimenting with the dynamics and the feeling of it, getting into it, expressing the music. And the pedaling, experimenting with the pedaling all the time too. Let's play this together very slowly and double check all the notes and rhythms. I'm going to pedal it like I suggested. I'm going to do a change pedal there between measures 13 and 14 there. I could do a change pedal between measures 9 and 10 because to keep that clean too, just in case. It's just that when I heard it, it wasn't quite so bad. For some reason, I don't know why, but it'd be nice to keep the melody clean. And to do that, you got to change the pedal when the melody changes notes. However, let's try this together very slowly. Not going to do any dynamics. Just the notes and the rhythms and the pedaling, as I suggested. 1 and ready and go. And 1.